Okay, good morning and good Woche. Torah brings refuah to all life. So who needs a refuah? Let's start.
Baruch ben Yamin ben Rachel Blema, Yehudis Golda Basaliza Hana, Haim Yaakov Zeb ben Sarah, Yosef Yitzhak ben Lior, Shoshana Bas Hana, Gary Robert, son of George.
Refuah shlema v'korev, mamash.
Amen. Devorah Miriam Chava, Natan Yosef ben Olga Sarah, Rivka bat Sally Sila, Zlata bat Sarah Liba, Roy Rafal ben Nofra, Benjamin Bear ben Hana, right? I think so. And Leah Gela bat Sima.
Refuah shlema v'korev, mamash.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Esther Fega Bas Chaya Rachel.
Refuah shlema v'korev, mamash. Rabbi Yitzhak Feivish ben Braina Malka. Refuah shlema. Okay. Hayom Yom for today. 29 Menachem Av. Very short. There must be avodah by one's own efforts. Superior heights are attained when one is taken by the hand and led. It is more precious, however, though, when it is by one's own strength. Pretty straightforward. Today's Tanya is also pretty straightforward. We'll see. Lessons in Tanya, page 180. 180, middle of the page. In Chayenu, it's page 71. 71.
Menachem Yehuda Nisan ben Rezel Tzivya.
Okay. Refuah shlema, v'korev mamash. And here, Kutimorim, it's in the middle of page Kuf Yud Daled. Okay, so having told us a lot of esoteric things about tzedakah, mainly how the arousal from below, no matter that we're giving a finite amount of money or a finite amount of assistance, as we enrolled in other places, tzedakah is going out of yourself, and yourself is limited, so there's the whole world. Everything in this world is limited. And albeit that that's true, the effect of it is infinite. It arouses infinite lights, or Ein Sof, to come down and to warm and illuminate this world down here below. So therefore, the Alter Rebbe says, Al Kain, Oyhave Achai. Therefore, my beloved ones, my brothers, Simun Olavavachem, put your heart to this. Really give your heart over to what I'm saying. To these words which I have spoken in a very brief way. He says in parentheses, and Emir Hashem, face to face, meaning in our talk, Afarbringen, or a Yechidus, I will speak about these things to you more elaborately, Barucha, at length. But in any case, what's the short, the skinny, so to speak, on what he's been saying for the last few parakim? So this is the kunz. This is, a sense, the takeaway. How it is that the entire and root of avodas Hashem in these times, be'itim halolu, be'ikvus Mashiach, in the time of the heels of Mashiach. One of the heels of Mashiach is when you walk on a floor and someone's in another room, they can hear you coming. So when we can hear, just darshaning this from other places, when Mashiach is ready to walk through the door. So what's the Ikur Avodah? Who avodas tzedakah? is the avoida, the service of tzedakah. Because of what the sages have said, the Jewish people are redeemed only through tzedakah. And they didn't say, which they did say also, but I mean they didn't mean when they said that Talmud Torah is equal connected all acts of kindness. Mayhem. That was said in those days, the days of the Hanoim and the Amaroyim, when there was a need for, and therefore a difference in the quality of learning that went on there versus now. No matter how much we are oisik b'Torah, each of us around this table, so to speak, doesn't touch the quality and the revelation of what the Tanoim and the Amaroyim were entrusted with to bring revelation of Torah into the world. And that was specific to those times. In those times, the learning of Torah was the main root, was the main point for by then. And that's why in those generations, those were the generations of the Tanoim and the Amaroyim. And you could add parenthetically, what was their particular accomplishment? The particular accomplishment was the particular, meaning that they made it clear to us, they were mevarer halakha. They were mevarer, they clarified, we use that same word, mevarer berurim, to rectify rectifications. They made it very clear what the halakha was. And as we say in the Midrash, al tichra halicha el halacha. The halacha is the way the world is, halicha is supposed to go. So that's what the accomplishment was. Even their learning, therefore, was the sake of our walking, for the footsteps of Mashiach, for the Mashiach to enter the room through doing avoida b'poil mamish down here below, of which the main and general avoida is tzedakah. Masha Ein Kain, not like those generations, but our generations, the ikvus HaMashiach, at the heels of Mashiach, shenofla suchas David ad bechinas raglayim de ekbayim. When the Sukkos David is Malchus, which is Mashiach, which is the final in the 10 spheres, the resting point, the bottom of the line, and in the creation it's Olam Hazeh Hagashmi, the bottom of the line. So Sukkos David HaNefeles, the fallingness, the coming down of the Ha'ora of Mashiach has fallen into this world, but in a manner at the moment, or at least in many respects, for sure, in a moment of fallenness. In other words, where the sukkah is not standing up. And that's the expression, it was kind of twofold, that the energy of Mashiach has descended into this world, but until that sukkah is rebuilt, which is Geula, so the sukkah is in a state of fallenness. It's fallen down to the very bottom. What's the very bottom? Shehi b'chinas asiyah, which is asiyah is the bottom of the four worlds, the four general worlds that we know about, that we at least that we talk about. We know more than that. We talk about them. Ein derech l'dav keba. So, if that's where Mashiach is, down here in this world, so ein derech, the Sukkos David HaNefeles, Malchus, has fallen into this world. Ein derech l'dav keba, the emes, there's no way to cling to her. And again, Malchus is feminine. No way to cling to her, the emes, ulahavka, sheichel in ahera, and to transform the darkness of the mashal of the fallen sukkah into light, delay, since it's in the world of asiyah, so which is doing, so we have the only way to transform it and illuminate the darkness into which the Shekhinah has fallen is also through asiyah, through doing. Gamken, also. And what is that doing? Shehimasa HaTzedakah, which is the deed of tzedakah. Kiyadu, as is known, l'maskilim, as is known to anybody who knows anything. Shebechinas hasiyah be'elakus, the level of doing, when it speaks about godliness, what's God's level of doing? That's the bechinas hashbo b'hamshokah kahayas lamata. When we say God does, and understand that as a reference to the level called Asiya, as opposed to the level higher, which is Yetzirah, etc., etc. So what is that? What is that? That's God bringing down his flow and all drawings down of life force below to the bottom of the bottom. And the bottom of the bottom is like a poor person that doesn't have anything on its own. So the whole world of Asiya, the lowest of the four worlds, is likened to that. And particularly this planet Earth, where we are, is the place of the bottom, which has the ability to, and into which has fallen to be uncovered. It has fallen the highest of the sparks, have fallen to the lowest of the low, and they're there to be uncovered by our acts of tzedakah, where we go out of ourselves and bring godliness, the revelation of godliness, out of the dirt, so to speak, of Asiya, into the light. And anyone literally who slaughters his Yetzer Hora in this, really pushes oneself aside, all the reasons why I'm not going to give, I've already given, or whatever the reasons are, and slaughters his Yetzer. And you have to know the difference between whether you're slaughtering your Yetzer or whether you're being a fool, right? And remember the criteria for tzedakah, the family comes first, and as we learned yesterday, the tzaddikim in Eretz Yisrael come before even your wife and family. By the way, Derech Agav, I researched a little bit, and it's interesting. These collections of fixings that are in the Tanya are really what the Tanya had said, and they were edited out. So, for instance, that we encountered this actually way back when the Tanya that I have in front of me, and that's written in front of everybody, the Hebrew, speaks about goyim. It says iluli gelulim, those who serve idols, and that was an edit because it was deemed to be too that the government would draw too much ire if the Tanya retained the language of Umasa Oilam, that all the nations, all the Goyim are different, so it substituted this language for those who serve idols. But the real intention actually is in those lakute, in those collections of fixings. Just a little side note, since that came up yesterday. Okay, so one has to zeveach es yitzra. One has to slaughter his yetzer hora bezeh, upeseach yodai, and open up one's heart, one's hand, ulavovoi, and one's heart, and iskafia sitra acher, and subjugate the sitra acher, umahape, and ultimately to transform it, and transform achsheicha la'oira, to transform darkness into light. Hashem Yisborach Hashoichet Oleinu. Let's get this sentence going better. And anyone who slaughters his Yetzer Hora on this and opens his heart and does this, is skafi b'schapcher, yes, transformation, subjugation, transformation, then Hashem Yisborach, Hashem may he be blessed, Hashoichet Oleinu, who dwells upon us and with us, the bechinas Asiya, in this world of Asiya, Mashiach. But then he will, or there will be enough merit, in this world and there will be a sufficient purification. Lirais ayin be'ayin, that we will all see eye to eye. B'shuv Hashem Sion, we will see in a revealed way Hashem returning to Zion, and of course Zion is the Pintel Yid. And Zion is the Beis Hamikdash, the Meir of Yameinu Mamash. And that's today's time.
Nice.
Rosa, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I saw firsthand this type of giving this past Shabbos, because someone was in the house across the street from me, and she invited, I think they were I don't know exactly. There might have been 7, there might have been 10 Bachrim who they're coming back to Yiddishkeit. She made a Shabbos for them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is such a huge job. Just like, it's like she comes up for 3 days and all the cooking and all the setting up, and they make it, they sing, they dance, they put their whole heart and soul in that. You saw it too.
Yeah, I was there. Well, I was there. I went over there for some period of time. It was just across the street from us.
Yeah.
Because I met her husband. I mean, just short. I mean, her husband, Hashkacha Pratis, I went to a wedding in the family, and I was a witness, and her husband was a witness, because I'm from the scholar side. He knows the chassan, who's one of these people who was raised in Yiddishkeit, but went who knows where. And the husband and this wife are just openly giving everything of themselves to gather these people back into Yiddishkeit. Yeah.
So it's an example of tzedakah, like we're saying here, where it's like really like beyond, like opening your hand beyond.
Right. And with that, Hashem will zeicha that we should be able to see eye and eye and face to face the Geula, the Geula Mashiach.
Amen.
Amen, amen.
Can I ask a question?
Of course, that's what we're here for.
So I wasn't here for the whole shir today, but I was just wondering, in light of what's going on in Eretz Yisrael, how we could see this through the words of Tanya, just any words of encouragement, because Tanya talks about Hashem's love for us and on, but how can we delve into Tanya to get any encouragement?
Very good question. I'll let other people answer that. Go ahead.
You're testing your students?
No. I'm confident that these students, these fellow class members, have some things in their mind about this. How can we do that? Go ahead.
I'd say that our fellow student, Pesha Rivka, she cooks for the soldiers. She does their laundry. She brings them things. She constantly extends herself to the soldiers in the north.
Okay. Well, we have to do that for each other. It's just going beyond our boundaries. It's okay, and mostly going beyond our boundaries in our emunah and our betachan, and trusting that Hashem knows what He's doing, and it's going to be good. That's all. That's all. It is good.
I'll add one small thing to that. I don't think it's small. Every as the summer approaches, the Bachrim in Lubavitch are let loose to go on shlichus. Now, that's an interesting thing in itself, that instead of spending time doing what might be the most pleasant thing for them to do, they're going on a mission. So amongst them was one of my grandchildren who went to Hebron, and he wound up in a poster, which I think just in a certain way says it all. I mean, he gave his summer away to put tefillin and encourage soldiers. And when he's here, and we were talking about this, and he said what was amazing to him, he said there wasn't one soldier who refused, because this so-called, the negative, we're at war, right? But that state of being at war, when you think about that, we are the Tanya teaches us we should be at war all the time. It's the war of the Yetzer Hara against the Yetzer, the war of the Yetzer Hara against the Yetzer Hara. And the Tanya encourages us all the time. And he was just there. And just the fact that he was giving himself to extend himself to them in a manner that they could see that he was Mesiras Nefesh, that aroused their Mesiras Nefesh and brought them to a much greater feeling of both power and capability, and as well as their connection to Yiddishkeit. So these things which are, yes, negative, we do not want to be in a war. We want to be in love and peace, right? But these hard times bring out the best. That was our yom today, right? A person is much more driven to that which comes from his own overcoming. And so there's some kind of equation, beyond the equation. When you overcome, strength is brought out that would never have been brought out before. And that's one thing one could say about bringing the Tanya to the world, which is in darkness. And that darkness we need to fight to overcome.
I think we also have to remember that we're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
We're different with different strengths, coming from different, parts of Hashem, but we're all basically part of Hashem with a mission to do, and not let our differences separate us.
Right. And we're all warriors in the war against Amalek, right? One of the 6 zecheres that we say every day. Remember Amalek and destroy him. So that's our mission, to destroy the negative and illuminate the positive. I don't know if that helped to answer your at all, to address.
Somewhat.
And I guess, the light must be so bright if the darkness has to be so thick.
Yes.
One thing I think Tanya gives us is the encouragement that our actions matter.
Mm-hmm.
And in this focus on tzedakah, how a broad definition of tzedakah, and that we're not detached, no matter where you are, how far away you may be from the whatever action you're focusing on, that your actions matter. It all counts, and everybody does their share. So it all counts. Important. That's a very important tiny thing, and that there's an internal process as well as an external process.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so wish us luck. I've got 4 young soldiers tonight, and I'm bringing them down to start their basic training tomorrow, including 1 grandson. And you just should know that if you don't worry about the future, we have these amazing young people who are giving, talk about Mesiras Nefesh, they want to do everything, and they are doing everything, and they're giving their all, and we should know from this example, we have a lot to give too. And everybody has a lot to give.
Right.
So if we can't be there and, be hands-on, we can also give money. And that's something like the great equalizer that we're all giving.
Right.
We could all give tzedakah especially to people, residents of Tzfat and Eretz HaKodesh.
And let's remember that you started with, we're not there. Physically, we're not there, but as we learned, these acts of tzedakah go up into the spiritual worlds, and they come down in a huge influence that's everywhere. So our little pruta in Washington Heights has a large effect all over this whole cosmos, and especially in the Eretz Yisrael, where we learned 2 days ago or yesterday that the flow from upward to downward hits planet Earth in the Holy Land. So our tzedakah in wherever we are enables a huge effusion of light into Eretz Yisrael, which can only be part of the healing and the redemption.
Right, and keeping in mind the larger definition of tzedakah, including Avi Yisrael.
Yep.
Being nice to each other.
Last week when we were talking about tzedakah and the different levels of, it was compared to something else that had like really a lot of different kind of levels. It occurred to me that even having charitable thoughts about someone is tzedakah, like judging someone favorably. Dan lekaf, that's a form of tzedakah.
Yeah. No. So look, there are no easy answers, but when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And that's what
don't feel helpless and don't feel insignificant.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of time it's telling us.
Or on the or on the other hand, totally feel empowered and know that that you have a capability within you. I'm talking to each and every one of us to take. It's look. We learned this expression today that this world is the world of darkness, right? And we have been given the opportunity to transform that darkness into light. And we know from other places, and we know, well, from our Yom, that when you take charge of yourself and turn something into light, it's a much more satisfying than when someone does it for you. So this is what Hashem wants from us. He's giving us darkness for the purpose of transformation. And we have the capability. Every act of tzedakah, every act of love, every good thing that we do in any place rebounds infinitely downward here below, and is part and parcel of bringing the Geula Shlema. All right. I hope it certainly was a good conversation with a lot of takeaways. So Yeshikaya,
yeah, I put it on the Daily Tanya chat. My son at the soldiers, he made this he sponsored this barbecue for the soldiers, and that's where he said the Kaddish and said the Siyum for my husband's memory. So it's really beautiful to have a glimpse of that. But it's the kind of thing like it was expensive. It was $5,000 because it's 100 soldiers, and meat's not cheap in Israel. And I don't even know. I didn't ask him everything. I mean, I chipped in significantly, but I have no idea how he raised the rest of it. But he did it. And it's, I think that I don't know. I think the takeaway for me is if you're hesitating and you have many reasons for this or that, just do it.
What?
Just do one more good thing.
Just do it. Okay, just do it. Till tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Chodesh Tov.